On a beautiful 59-degree day in the Windy City, the usual capacity crowd better than 21,000 making their way into the United Center. The Madhouse on Madison will be all pumped up. The NBA on TNT is presented by State Farm. It's a matchup of the two best teams in the East, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and the Miami Heat, facing Derrick Rose and his Chicago Bulls. Bulls 44-14. Best record in the NBA, 3 games in front of the Heat, who have been struggling. And with the regular season winding down, the battle for playoff position continues. Hi, everybody. Marv along with Steve Kerr, the czar, Mike Fratello, Craig Sager working the sidelines. And Steve, of most significance for the Bulls tonight, Derrick Rose is back from the sprained ankle. Can he be ready physically for the playoffs?
Well, it's important that he is and that he gets some games under his belt, Marv. Remember the New York game on Sunday, he had 8 turnovers. He shot 8 for 26. They need to put together some rhythm between he and Rip Hamilton before the playoffs start. Mike, your thoughts?
You're going to just jump in.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure. Well, perhaps a little sense of urgency on Miami's part. A change in the starting lineup for them tonight. Turiaf out, Udonis Haslem in. 5-5 over the last 10 games. Eric Spoelstra's trying to shake it up down the stretch.
So we have...
I don't know if you want to say something, come to me, or he would. Or just, when you're done, just look at me.
You know, what do you, I can...
So you mentioned the Lions. We're going to... and you don't have to mention...
You want me to, I can lead into you and say they're playing a Miami team that's been struggling. You know, Bulls 4-4 in their last 8, but Miami's struggling a little bit lately too.
Oh, I could do that.
Like
Okay,
that.
all right. Okay, we'll check out the lineups for Miami. Despite the recent problems, LeBron James has continued his... Can we do the lineups? Yeah. His high-level player is named the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. And as Azar mentioned, Eric Spoelstra continuing to change that rotation as you see Udonis Haslem. I'm going to repeat what you said. No, it's not.
I'll shorten mine. I'll make mine different.
On a beautiful 59-degree day in the Windy City, the usual capacity crowd that been at 21,000 making their way into the United Center. The Madhouse on Madison will be all pumped up. The NBA on TNT is being presented by State Farm, and a matchup tonight of the two best teams in the East, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and the Miami Heat, facing Derrick Rose and a Chicago Bulls. The Bulls 44-14. The best record in the NBA, 3 games in front of the Heat, who have been struggling recently in the regular season winding down. The battle for playoff positioning continues. Hi, everybody. Marv along with Steve Kerr, the czar. Mike Fratello will be joined in a moment by Craig Sager. And Steve, of most significance for the Bulls, Derrick Rose is back, this time from a sprained ankle. How do you think things look for him physically as they approach the playoffs?
Well, Marv, it's important that the Bulls get a good 8 games out of him to find his rhythm individually, but also his rhythm with Rip Hamilton, who's been out for much of the year as well. Those two guys are starting backcourt. They barely played together this year, Mike.
For Miami, head coach Eric Spoelstra may not yet be set on his rotations. We've seen some tinkering in the last couple games. Expect to see more tonight.
Let's check out those starting lineups for Miami. Despite the recent problems, LeBron James continues his high-level play. He was named the Eastern Conference Player of the Week, and Eric Spoelstra, as you mentioned, continues to change that rotation. It's now Udonis Haslem as the starting center instead of Joel Anthony or Ronnie Turiaf. As for Chicago, yes, another test for Derrick Rose, who's missed a total of 23 games. Luol Deng had that solid performance in the win over the Knicks here on Tuesday, 19 points, 10 rebounds, and Rip Hamilton showing signs with 20 points in 20 minutes this past Tuesday, 18 coming in the third quarter. The officiating crew, Jarrett Stafford, John Goebel, and Brian Forte. And in talking with Miami head coach Eric Spoelstra earlier, he said, we're not in a panic mode despite splitting the last 10 games and losing their last 2 or 3 at home. Do you buy that?
Well, I do. Remember, this team struggled in March last year. They lost 5 out of 8 games. Everybody was